Hey everybody, Beer Guys Radio here. We are at Scofflaw Brewing Company. Matt Shira, owner, founder of the breweries, agreed to chat with us, give you all a little preview of what's going on here, when they're going to open up. So, Matt, thanks for talking to us.
Sure.
So we're in your lab right now, right?
Yep, that's right.
So, all right.
When you first walk into the lab, you see that we have or walk into the building, you'll see we have our basic laboratory set up here. We've got a small clean room, some sonicators, but mostly we focus on our wild yeast program and stuff in here, and that would be with our scope and mostly with the incubator growing up wild strains that we.
You guys capturing your own yeast and stuff?
We've captured hundreds, but we've probably got 3 or 4 viable Brett strains that we pulled out of the Georgia atmosphere. So that's where we stand with that. This will be the center of our QA analysis, and probably our yeast program will be centered out of here too, while we're getting up to speed. How
Okay.
we run this lab.
Awesome. So I know we said we'd talk about it a little later, but you're gathering wild yeast in that, so we'll see some funky sour stuff coming out of here.
We got some funky stuff going on right now. It's they're not in the big tanks yet, but it's we found a couple nice pelicans.
Awesome.
So 6 months we've had some stuff in some blonde ales, but we don't know what it's going to turn out yet.
Okay, cool.
I think that's something that's going to take a couple of years. We're willing to put the time and invest the money into that program, but we won't see the fruits of that for a while.
Yeah.
Travis is pretty familiar. He's the brewmaster's also a microbiologist that developed vaccines in the West Coast, and so he's familiar with beer at the molecular level. So hopefully we'll be able to use that to our advantage when it comes to developing a sour program.
Yeah, you can get some quicker sours out, but not as complex as some of the stuff you invest more time in.
I don't think we're going to do much of any of the faster,
like the kettle sours, lactose sours,
maybe
and
not.
Yeah.
We do more punching with mixes or Brett alone, and letting it, giving it the time that it takes to mature on its own.
Okay, great. All right, can we take a look at your brew house here?
Yeah, sure. So we come out of the lab over here, we'll see our brew house, which is purchased from Nebraska's American Brewing Equipment. It's also called AID. This is 15 barrel sized up to a 20 barrel for high gravity brewing. 4-vessel brew house, semi-automated, mostly automated, but there's still plenty of valves to manually operate. With our dedicated hot and cold liquor tanks and another dedicated house liquor tank behind me. We can do double batches in this thing pretty easily with the 4-vessel system. And we made it big enough and have enough temperature controls on this thing to give us a lot of variability in our processes. So,
I see the guys that work over there. What's brewing today?
I think he is brewing a Citra Ipa today,
Okay. Awesome.
which is a Citra Ipa, about 7%. It is brewed with organic Citra. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Organic Citra. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome.
It'll be dry hop with probably up to 2 pounds of Citra per barrel. It comes out of the back end, but it finishes it's pretty dry Citra. We've also got a fruited version of that beer. One of our core beers now, but we'll let the market figure out what our core beers are.
Okay. So I got to sample one Joe brought around. You guys did a mellow?
Yes.
Or is that the fruited one you're going to put out?
Well, we've got orange batch and a grapefruit batch, but so we'll blend those together to get what we want out of them. Unfortunately, I didn't do enough research to actually know that pomelos were out of season.
Yeah. I ran into that on homebrew. I was going to do a Goza with it, and they were hard to find.
I didn't know, so we've been through hundreds and hundreds of fruits to see what we wanted, what we were searching for. We were searching for something that was tropical but not too sweet, and also not too sour. So we go through the zest of those fruits and you find that a lot of them have a very lemony zest or oil in the skin, and we didn't want that, so we wanted to find a more pleasant aroma, not a lemon beer, but something more into the true tropical range. So Joe and these guys are in here. I don't know how many hundreds of pounds of fruit they mashed up the other day.
Yeah.
They cleaned all the fruit, mashed it, and then put it into about 2 15-barrel tanks behind you. So they dry hop that Citra, the organic Citra beer with that fruit. I don't know where the local fruit from one of the farmers markets.
Okay, great. Now, so we know we're going to be having IPA and fruited IPA. What are some other beers you're going to launch with?
We got a lot of IPAs. I mean, this is basically an IPA house.
Okay.
But, we'll launch with a pale ale that James Bruner's put together. Real happy with that. It's a Simcoe focused pale ale. We've got a double IPA, which we haven't named yet. It's probably about 10%, 10.2, somewhere in that area. That is I'm not sure what hops he used in that. Maybe some Dorado, El Dorado. I'm not sure. So that's 2. Then we've got a couple Citra IPAs, different versions, the fruited, non-fruited version, and then we've got another beer that we call Westside Ipa. That's Travis's brainchild. It's heavy grain bill on Chico yeast.
Okay.
I think everybody will like that beer.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Now you mentioned a little earlier, so you're going to have a sour program. Is this
Right now we're
where the
using
sour
this.
space is going to be?
Well, this is for the funky side. Right now we're using this for just overrun on our standard beers as we're doing R&D and trying to make sure that we have these beers nailed down. But they will move. The beers will move a little bit while we're improving them. They're very good beers right now. I think we can make them always be focused on improving our product. So when we get all of our base beers taken care of in the way that we want them, this will become dedicated to a sour program. There's not very many tanks in here, one Bright and a couple of Conicals, but it's a place to start, and it's built to where we can just plug and play new tanks, so it could become a reasonable size sour side for a startup. We like to do a lot of forced fermentations with our sour beers to see where they're going to go before we run straight into these not big, but bigger, more expensive tanks.
Okay.
Production process.
I see some barrels back there. Anything in them yet?
No, there's nothing in them. Those are fresh Buffalo Trace whiskey barrels, just emptied a couple of weeks ago. But we have a stout in that I didn't mention that we put together, and it's called Absentia. We ended up with a big boozy whiskey stout, and the way we ended up with it is Travis left me alone with the boil one day, and I boiled it off probably 40%, and it turned out to be a really good beer. So that's probably what will go in a few of these barrels. We've got about 6 barrels worth of that beer batched in the Conical right now, but it'll take a while to get that beer down. So,
yeah.
We'll have to continually punch that beer. Start off at 29 Plato, 29.5 Plato, I think. That's the first test for those barrels.
Okay.
I'm not sure
Awesome.
where we go after that. I don't.
See what happens after that comes out, right?
That's it.
Yeah. Now I see quite a few tanks. How much fermentation capacity you have
We
right
have
now?
about 8,000 barrels of fermentation capacity on an annual basis. But we would expect to run nowhere near those numbers, but we do anticipate using those tanks to continue R&D and I give these guys have the creative not capacity, but a little bit of discretion over what they brew. So I have my ideas about what I think is what we want to be and what we want to make, and then I let them do some beers on their own. I think Joe put together a Galaxy and Citra beer, so I don't know if he's just trying to pick the most expensive beer,
Yeah, absolutely.
or,
Yeah.
or if he really thinks it's going to be that good.
That's the way he shot for the ingredients.
Yeah.
He just sorted by price and
That's
bought
what-
what's
I
at the
think
top
that's
of the
what he
list,
did.
right?
So
Yeah.
It's an interesting beer, but his job, not mine.
Yeah, see. Now over here I see the area, I'm assuming that'll be tasting room area there?
That'll be a tasting room
So,
area.
okay.
We'll walk over there and show you. This is, I think, about 3,000 square feet of area. That's our non-bonded space. We had to have some boundaries between this, so I thought it'd be nice to have a fence separating these areas.
Yeah.
And so that you can still get the feeling of being in the brewery and still see all the action going on around you while you're in here trying the beers that we put out of here.
Is this one of your brewers right here?
Yeah, well, that one's, he's retired.
Quality control, right?
He's
Keeping an eye on things, yeah.
Yeah, the only thing he does is walk around and spread germs.
Yeah, like a good brew dog does, right?
Yeah.
So
I spray him with ozone every once in a
there
while.
you keep him going. So when will people be able to come up here and have a beer at the tasting room?
A couple weeks from now. This
Okay.
is, today's the 8th, 7th or 8th, I'm not sure. We've been in here for about 3 months without taking a day off, so I can't remember what day it is. But probably the 3rd week of July, people will be able to come in here and have a beer. And do a tour on standard Georgia stuff. But then we go tomorrow. Our first delivery to the distributor is the 21st of this month, and then we have events scheduled currently at Ormsby's. Our first one on Tuesday, the 26th. That Thursday, the 28th, we're at the Porter, and then that Friday we're at my friend's Growler Shop, and then we have another 15 or 20 events backing those up at the accounts that we were talking to already. So our sales guy is a guy named JP. He's out in the market right now working with those guys trying to get those things set up.
So the first opportunity is Ormsby's, 26.
26. That's
Go
on
out there,
Tuesday, right?
Okay.
And there's also a Krog Street at Top City with Craig and those guys on August 4th.
Okay. I know I saw the Ormsby's one and the Porter one on your Facebook event. So
Yes.
You get the others listed there as they
They'll
get
all be
scheduled?
on the Facebook page, Scofflaw Brewing Co. At Facebook, and you can look up all the events on there.
Okay, great. And when you guys start, are you draft only to start? Any packaging?
Draft only, but we do have a canning line. It'll be here on Friday.
Okay, great.
So we bought that as part of the initial investment that I made into this facility. Included a canning line, and some of the pieces are already back there. The labeler's already back there, but right now we want to get a solid foundation built before we move into. We'll test the packaging machine, but we have priorities, and that's not our priority right now.
Gotcha.
So I think you'll see a lot more draft right now.
Okay.
As we work our way into the marketplace and get our feet underneath us.
Okay, awesome. So Matt Shira, Scofflaw Brewing Company, first opportunity to try them out at Ormsby's on the 26th,
That's
tasting
right.
room in a few weeks, and you said your Facebook is scofflawbrewingco.com?
That's
or
right. That's
Scofflaw
right.
Brewing Co. on Facebook?
Yes, it's just SCOFFLAW Brewing Co.
Okay.
You'll find it.
Where'd the
on
name
there.
Scofflaw come from?
Well, Travis came up with that. We were working.
Okay.
You can also have people would be interested in talking to Travis. He's a very interesting guy to talk to. But the name Scofflaw comes from during the Prohibition times. People would want to. The bootleggers made the alcohol, and the Scofflaws were the folks that drank the alcohol from the bootleggers. But in modern times, it's more or less people who walk the edge. Let's say jaywalking. That would might be a
Okay.
Scofflaw. It's like
Yeah.
a little edgier. We're certainly not breaking any laws
Walking
in
that
here,
line
but it's
of it, right?
People that,
Yeah.
that don't mind breaking laws that are difficult to enforce.
I got you. Okay.
So it's the edgiest we want to get.
All right. Matt, thank you so much for giving us a tour of the place. Look forward to trying you guys out.
Thanks, Tim.
Cheers.